And we're live. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. I don't even know what time it is. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Tonight, it's more Dancing with the Stars to talk about. Joining me is my co-host, Grace. How you doing, Grace?
I'm doing well. I'm extremely tired, but we are now halfway through the season, which is a little crazy to think about. We have our top 10, and yeah.
We're really halfway. Are we going to be having like some double eliminations? I mean, how are we going to...
Well, I know not this coming week, but the one after that is a double elimination. It's use your vote week because it's right before election day. And per the calendar, there's going to have to be at least another one after that.
Well, all I can say after watching this episode is I'm very nervous about our draft. Is all I can. Grace and I kind of touched on this before we went live. It's not looking too good. I saw Grace tweeted that there were like 4 contestants that she thinks are going to win. And was that you, I think? And I just couldn't.
Someone else was tweeting how they think the season is going to go, and their prediction for the final 4 was 100% my team.
I was like, uh-oh. It's not looking good, Grace.
Half of your team has been in the bottom 2 already, and the other half I don't think can win.
Yikes! I
didn't think Hannah could win last season. I didn't think the last 2 winners had a shot.
Well, we will be breaking it down. We will be talking about everything that's been going on with Dancing with the Stars. So, first off, Grace, another week. Is there anything going on in the Dancing with the Stars sphere? Any exciting stuff that's been going on?
Not that I can think of. Lindsay's having her baby soon.
Yeah. The one big takeaway is that we made a deal last week that if it had parts, the deal had parts. That was
yes.
If Derek doesn't propose to his girlfriend after their performance and Vernon survives the night, I would get him on my team. I was half right.
I mean, he said before that he wasn't going to do it, which I guess, I mean.
Yeah, but that was after we podcasted, so it was still.
Yeah.
Well, as my team crumbles, Grace's team soars. I mean, this was a big night for your favorites, Grace.
It was 4-way tie for number 1, and 3 of them were on my team.
What is happening? Like,
I've watched this show more than you have.
Well, anything else you want to talk about in the gossip? Any big things that people are talking about? What are people talking about?
A lot of people are upset with PETA because they thought she phoned this season in, but that's their opinion. A lot of people are upset with Carrie Ann because she saved Vernon over Johnny. Like, gave Johnny a 10 last week, and then this week voted to send him home.
Yikes. Well,
I would have voted to send Vernon home, but I would have voted to save Johnny rather, but I'm not a judge.
Well, shall we actually get into these contestants? Should we start talking about them?
Let's deep dive.
Well, first up, Johnny Weir and Britt doing a salsa.
Yes.
And he earned 7, 8, and 7. What did you think, Grace?
I did not think it was nearly as good as last week. I did love that he gave a shout out to Tara Lipinski. I actually wanted the 2 of them on the show together. Like, I wanted him with Emma and I wanted Tara with Sasha, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I mean, the judges...
Go on, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go on. No, you first.
The judges said that they wanted it to be a little more grounded, and after they said that, it did look like he was a little bit high, but again, I'm not an expert. And, I mean, a lot of people... I kind of thought after this that maybe they were kind of trying to dislodge him, because, like I said, 10s last week, the highest score of the season, and then he gets a 22, and clearly the dislodge worked because he ended up being in the bottom 2 this week.
Are salsas usually like a dance that people usually get 10s with? Like, I feel there's a bit of a...
Because I've seen some salsas that were great, and I've seen some salsas that were really bad.
I feel like whenever someone says, like, oh, they're going to be doing a salsa, it's not a 10 moment or even anywhere close. You're usually going for kind of a middle of the pack kind of performance. But my question is, what did he do wrong that cut? Why was he? I felt like he was a little underscored, honestly.
Usually the couple that goes in the death spot, the couples that go earlier in the show are underscored. I think the death spot and the low score might have contributed to his spot in the bottom two. But again, I don't know.
And we have Eric in the chat. Popping in to say hi. Still watching Dancing with the Stars. How is Ty Grace? This is a question for you. How is Ty doing?
A little dramatic, but I'll tell you after the break. I can't smize.
What was that word?
Smize.
I don't know what that means.
Where you just smile with your eyes. I can't do it.
Well, from my number 2 pick on the draft, we go to I think this was Grace's like one of your last, right?
He was later on. No, I regret it.
But what a surprise. Neve, Schulman, and Jenna doing a jazz. 2 9s and an 8. I mean, Neve is on the rise. What did you think?
I mean, first off, I was a little bit embarrassed that Jenna didn't know who Marky Mark was, but then I remember that she lives in Utah and they're like 20 years behind the rest of the world.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, Whitney's the same way. Like, they did an episode, they've done Dancing with the Stars pros on Family Feud, and they're always terrible because all the Utah girls have no clue. Because, like, a lot of the questions now are, like, really dirty, and they don't do that kind of stuff. Oh, greetings from Panama. Have we gone global?
We've gone global. Reality Hour. It's gone global.
And yes, Matthew said that there's a petition starting to get Haley as a pro, which I have not signed because I know those petitions don't work.
Is that pronounced Moises or Moses?
I wouldn't know. I'm sorry. Yeah, Matthew's saying none of the jazzes are that good this season. I mean, I thought he did a good job. I didn't love it as much as the judges did, but I mean, I didn't think the choreography was all that good.
Maybe I'm like a little bit distracted by current events, but is it just me or does he look a lot like Sacha Baron Cohen?
You've mentioned that before.
You know, I mean it.
Eric, Carol Baskin is gone. Move on.
No, I am still in denial. In my head, this is Eric. She's still on the show. She's here in spirit. She's blessing us with catitude from the great beyond of contestants eliminated from the show.
He just messaged me and said he came in to troll.
Well, Monica Aldama and Val doing a rumba. How do they do?
Again, I don't know why the judges are treating her like they treated Allie Brooke last season, overscoring her so they don't want her to go home. At least with Allie, it made sense because she wasn't as bad as Monica. But, I mean, it kind of felt like there really weren't that many hips. She was kind of just going through the motions. I don't know. Like, Val doesn't have to try to be sexy, but Monica kind of does, and it just didn't work.
All right, I got a question. And this is probably a question you've probably been asked or thought about yourself, but how do the judges' grades factor into the vote? Like, how does that go together? Like when Tara says like, oh, we've combined the judges' scores and your votes from home. How does that work?
They changed it several times, but the way that I know it to be is that there's like a share with the judges. So like, for example, if it's kind of hard to explain, but all of the points for all the couples are added up and they get whatever percent is there. So if there's 10 couples and a team scores 20 points, they get 10% of the judges' share. That accounts for 50%. The other 50 is the votes.
I asked that question. I came away more confused.
It's so hard to explain, but like, I don't know. Cause like there have been years, like I know the season we don't ever talk about, season 27, they put more emphasis on the fans than the judges. And that's why Grocery Store Joe, despite being terrible and getting the lowest score every week, was allowed to survive.
You know what?
And the Skeleton's ridiculous fan base of soccer moms propelled him to victory.
look, I'm just here for the fun of the show. Like, I just want to have fun here. Like, I'm team, like, my team is called Team Hot Mess. We're team Chaos. We, as like, similar maybe to Dark Sky Destiny. That sounds a little bit like Chaos.
Well, yes, AJ is my number one pick. You got to root for him.
Yes, Eric is rooting for AJ. Yeah, he says I do. But Eric, you can't root for him because he's not on my draft, and we have to root for my team. That's the rules.
He's known me longer.
All right. It's a complicated mess, and it doesn't even prevent bad day. Grace, would you care to respond?
You are not wrong. And I mean, again, this is how bad dancers skate by.
Well,
but that season was worse because they made the fan votes way more.
I feel like we've gotten very off topic from Monica.
Who cares about Monica? She's getting overscored. She's not good. Move on.
Well, we move on to my number one draft pick,
who was dead last on the leaderboard this week.
Yikes! What is happening here? What? I can't, Grace, I can't even. I can't. That is all I can say. Bring some clarity to this. What is happening?
I mean, I didn't even notice her messing up, but maybe that was just me. The judges noticed it, and I think that kind of freaked her out for a little bit for the rest of it. I mean, this is the second time now that she has, like, slipped on stage. Like, maybe they need to rehearse on the stage more. Maybe they need wooden floors in the rehearsal spaces. I don't know, because, like, normally if they have the Marley floors, which are kind of like this rubbery material, they're much easier and less slippery than a freshly waxed wooden floor. And then also, her face did not change once. And that was really distracting.
Yeah, it's just it's like a constant.
Yeah, kind of appropriate, though, for next week, because she's doing Bride of Chucky.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, these villains are hilarious for next week.
If
we'll get into that at the end of the show.
If nothing more, like, she lives up to Team Hot Mess.
I mean, when she's good, she's good. This was like, ugh. I mean, I don't know. Matthew said earlier on that she thinks she's going to fall victim to the double elimination, which I wouldn't be surprised by. It depends on how they do it, because I don't know how they're going to do it.
Grace, she's like the only hope for my team. If not her, who? It's gonna be 2 months from now. There's gonna be a video on my YouTube channel of me reviewing a Bobby Bones book because I lost the draft. And this is what's happening.
And to answer Eric's question, yes, next week is the Halloween night, but it's going to be all villains this year. So all of the dances and costumes are inspired by various villains from movie, TV, etc.
Grace, if you were on this season and you got to be a villain, what villain would you want to be?
That's a good question. If it were only Disney villains, I'd be Ursula. But it's not all Disney villains. There's 2 this week, but I don't know. Like, somebody's doing Nurse Ratched. That one I might have to do.
Ooh. I feel like I would kind of want to do like a Joker. I feel like a cool wig, but not Jared Leto's Joker, because he wasn't the good one.
I don't know if you saw this. I don't really watch like superhero movies, but Michael Keaton declared himself the best Batman. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm a Marvel person, is all I can really say on that matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my mom's watched the Thor movies because she thinks he's hot, because she's weird. Yes, Mother, I did just call you out on YouTube.
Do you have a personal, like, all-time favorite villain? Like, do you have anyone who you enjoy the most watching?
Not really. Like I said, like, I don't really watch a whole lot of movies. I might have to, like, I don't know, scoundrel up a witch hat or something.
In the chat,
I just realized
let us know in the chat if you could dress up as any villain for Halloween, who would you dress up as? It's a fun question. And next up is Vernon. And after Vernon, we have Nelly and Daniela.
We didn't talk about Vernon yet.
I was
Let's
making
talk
a joke.
about
I
being
skipped
not
it.
Adam's first casualty.
And yet, I'm disappointed.
It took me long enough to lose somebody on my team.
I expected nothing, and yet I'm still disappointed. Vernon Davis doing a cha-cha-cha. Oh.
Gabby and Cade? Really? Eric said Hades.
Hades, that's a good choice. Yeah.
Are Gabby and Cade villains?
Joker's fun.
Speaking of which, Gabby got nominated for a CMA award or something. Because American Idol Twitter mentioned it because Carrie Underwood got nominated for a bunch like she always does. And then Gabby got nominated. So good on her. At least somebody from ABC Idol is doing something, just not the winners.
Alejandro.
He didn't win.
You just said someone from ABC. You didn't see a winner.
I just said not the winners are doing crap, but Gabby and Cade.
Well, they're doing better than Vernon, who straight
Vernon.
sevens and is eliminated this week.
She won. Thank you, Eric. Eric follows country music. I don't.
I'm not a country music fan. Is that your personal favorite? What's your genre?
Underwood, but mostly pop and like singer-songwriter stuff.
Mine is the worst.
To Vernon.
Mine is sing-alongs. Car rides are awful.
All right, yeah. Back to Vernon.
Cha-cha-cha. How do you do?
Celebration. It's a celebration. That song is such a jam. And thankfully it was the Kool and the Gang version and not the Ross Geller version. Because I would have literally turned off my TV if anyone had been playing bagpipes on Dancing with the Stars. If there are any Friends fans in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, back to Vernon. Again, loves his grandparents. I thought his feet were flat. His movement is really smooth. And this spelled bad news for him because not only was he in the bottom two last week, so I knew he was gone. But there was one point, like, they showed, like, you could see the judges, and I kind of enjoyed watching Derek watching them more than I enjoyed watching the actual dance. I'm so awful.
Grace, where did he go wrong? Like, what was Vernon's problem? Like, what was his downfall?
Other people are better. PETA was a lot of people thought PETA was phoning this season in. Maybe she was.
Well, maybe once they get, like, they're in quarantine now, so they want to get eliminated because then they can leave the quarantine. Like, maybe. But they still get the check.
I mean, at least, like, with the married pros, I can kind of see it because they're living apart from their spouses. PETA's married to Max, who isn't even on the show anymore, so she has no excuses. Although maybe she's taking pointers from him. It's like, if your partner sucks, don't care. If your partner's great, then actually care.
What happened to Max?
He retired. He won the show in season 18, and then he was like, bye. Because that's all he cared about was winning. And he
Who
came
did
very
he win
close.
with?
Meryl Davis.
I feel like I saw him afterwards.
He was on the show a couple times after, probably because they forced him to. But, like, he basically was like, yeah, I won. I'm not coming back. That was what I did. Mic drop. He's such a jerk.
Let's talk about Nelly and Daniela. They're doing a Viennese waltz.
Yes.
Nelly, is he on my team or is he?
No, mine. I have both the musicians.
Well, how do you do with this one?
Okay, first off, Moises, he wasn't evolving as fast as some others. I think that was Jesse's downfall too. Anyway, back to Matthew gave up. Max gave up after Meryl completely. Completely. Anyway, back to Nelly. I'm getting so distracted. I mean, he did mention that he worked with Tim McGraw before, which, I mean, I completely forgot about that song for a while.
Which one?
Over and over again. They did it like, I was in like elementary school. It was a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah,
he was Heather Morris, right?
Sort of. I mean, he got injured, and so Heather spent most of the season with Alan. And then the week that Max came back, they were gone. Dang.
What are the odds?
People don't like ringers, and people liked Heather and Alan. They didn't like Heather and Max. Anyway,
back to Nelly.
Back to Nelly. I keep getting distracted.
I think this was his best performance because it was so simple. If that makes sense, like it wasn't the high energy; it was the slow, and I think he was able to
get on those toes. Like, stop with the shoes, stop being Master P, and get some real shoes.
Yeah, that was like that was the one thing. I was like, the feet are a little bit like stompy. You know what I mean?
Like he was like trying to do hips. There are no hips in Viennese waltz.
But still, solid job.
Yeah, all 8s.
Thumbs up.
He's moving up, but I would not be surprised if that double elimination comes looming at him.
Should we talk about Derek and Haley?
They slayed. They slayed.
Pretty cool.
I mean,
it was just a cool performance.
I can see now why there's a petition to get Haley on as a pro for season 30.
Who is she?
She's Derek's girlfriend. She's been on the show for a long time. She was a troop
What
member.
did she do?
She was in the troop. She was also one of the pros on the junior season, which I didn't watch, but they just mentored. But no, I mean, the thing is, she's primarily a contemporary dancer. Ballroom is not her forte. I mean, it's not the first time they've done it. Like Allison Holker was the same way. Britt is actually the same way. She started in contemporary and then moved into ballroom. And a lot of the pros are cross-trained in those areas. But, I mean, I would love to see it, personally. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I think she's next in line.
I gotta tell you, we have 5 viewers. Like, it's the most we ever had. Like, for Dance with the Stars so far. Well, we move on. Jeannie Mai and Brandon doing a rumba. 2 8s and a 9. Pretty good job for Miss Mai. What did you think?
Yeah. I kind of thought the story about how her mom's family escaped communist Vietnam was like terrifying. I don't know if she's in trouble vote wise. A lot of people think she might be. Unfortunately, though, we can't vote for her mom. If we could vote for her mom, she'd be number 1 every week. But I mean, she hasn't been in the bottom 2 yet, so I've seen no evidence of her being in trouble. They did a really nice job with this dance. I thought their faces were a little weird. It was my favorite of the night up until that point, though.
Yeah, very strong. Very well done. I mean, the movements are fluid, very clear. I think this was a very strong performance. She's on my team, right?
Yes. She's like your only person left with a shot at winning at this point.
I don't even think she has a shot at winning.
I don't either, but she has a better chance than the rest of your team.
But you know who I do think has a shot of winning? It's AJ McLean and Cheryl.
My number 1.
Doing a samba. And I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to say it. I think he's going to win. I think at this point, he's my prediction to win. If not, runner-up. I think he's top 2.
I think he's a lock for the finale, at least the top 4 at this point. But I don't think he can win. Mostly because this show hates me and Cheryl. And my favorites never, ever win. I hope he does.
Well, tell me about AJ's performance. What did you think?
I actually was nervous because he did his first Latin dance 2 weeks ago. And it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And I was primarily convinced that ballroom was going to be his thing, but this was fantastic. He looked really good. I can tell he loved the dance. Like, this was the kind of thing that I really just can't ask for much more.
Yeah, he hasn't really had a misstep all season.
No, he's been continually growing. I just hope he doesn't wait too long to peak. I feel like Sky might have peaked a little soon. Johnny probably peaked a little soon.
I think AJ's due for like a 10 performance. Like, I think it's coming. But I don't think it's really going to be coming for Chriselle and Gleb doing a contemporary, because I think this was probably the high of her run on the show, Grace.
I mean, I kind of figured that the judges weren't going to say anything bad about it because she spent the whole intro talking about losing her parents both within a year, which sounds terrible. I mean, like Carrie-Anne did point out at one point, though, like with the point where she jumped into Gleb's arms, those feet were completely sickled. They should have been pointed. Their timing was fine. I think she's gone soon. I think she's my team casualty.
The story is heartbreaking, like what she explained. But just judging based on the actual dance, like I said, I think this is her peak. I think I might have said that a little too harshly at the beginning, but like that's kind of...
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, other people are better.
I think she's going in the double.
Or next week. If she doesn't go next week, she'll definitely be on in the double. Depends on how they do it, though, because I don't know how they're going to do it.
I gotta say, I'm surprised there were no 10s this episode.
Yeah.
I know, bummer. Caitlyn Bristow doing a Samba with Artem. What'd you think?
I mean, at least she admits to being a crazy Justin Bieber fan. Because, I mean, I'm around her age and I would never admit to that, mostly because I'm not.
Or are you?
I don't hate this song as much as I hate most of his other songs, though. Honestly, though, I thought it was good, but she really hasn't like fully like amazed me yet, and I cannot accept her winning if she doesn't do that. And I think she can win is the thing.
All right, Reality Hour viewers, I'm going to say this. Top 2, Caitlyn and AJ. I can see them at the end together. I could see them standing beside each other. And I don't know who would win there. I think it would be AJ.
I don't.
But the person who I think would come in third is up next, Justina Machado.
Closing out the night, pimp spot.
I'm thinking third for her. Am I right?
I think she's a sure thing for the finale at this point. I don't think she can win.
Yes, but what a pleasant surprise she's been this season. Doing a Viennese waltz and straight 9s across the board.
Yeah,
like, good job.
I thought on her turns the arms were a little bit like out of control, and I mean, Carrie-Anne wasn't sure if there was a lift. I thought it was. They said that she kept her foot off the ground. I guess I'll have to take her word for it. They did a really nice job with it, and yeah, I think she's a sure thing for the finale, and I kind of feel bad because Sasha hasn't won the show yet. The highest he's ranked is third.
Third again.
I mean, Whitney came in second 2 years in a row, and she should have won both times. Milo should have won. Kel should have won. Caitlyn's the most boring. I don't know if she's boring, but I don't love her as much as I feel like I should. Partly because she's from The Bachelorette. Well,
that's pretty much the episode here. I mean, this is kind of where we're at. We had the results, our bottom 2, Johnny and Vernon. I was like, yeah, I know where this is going, and I'm losing a potential new person on my team either way. So it was a lose-lose either way, but I think Johnny I think he's going for 5th or 6th at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were really mad at Carrie-Anne for saving Vernon over Johnny. Like I said before, I would have saved Johnny. The guys both saved Johnny. I think the right couple went home. Out of the bottom 2, at least. I do have one question though. Who is voting for Monica? Who are you? I want names. Show yourselves.
Grace is going to come for you.
I am, because I don't understand it. I might have to come for the judges too.
All right. Well, that's kind of the episode recap here, but I think now we're going to be doing some spoilers. So if you don't want to be here, this is your chance to bow out. And as I say that, we dropped from 5 viewers to 1.
Well, Matthew said he had to leave, but yeah.
Well, what do we got for spoilers?
Okay, so next week, like I said, is Villains Night. They're all going to be villains. It's a play on the Halloween spectacular.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a fun theme.
Uh-huh. Normally we get team dances on Halloween night, but because of COVID, we've known this for some time. Nope.
I know who I would actually be now. Howie Mandel. Oh, I could do even better, actually. Simon Cowell.
He's not really a villain anymore.
Yeah, but he ruined America's Got Talent. So I consider him a villain.
Okay, so all of the dances and costumes are inspired by villains from various TV, movies, etc. And also we get the creepy Halloween covers of songs, which I know Adam loves, and I love it too. And I've listened to some of them, and some of them are pretty fracking awesome. All right, so anyway, alphabetical by celebrity's last name, as always. Monica and Val are doing a jazz to a Beyonce cover of the old Fever from the 30s, inspired by Nurse Ratched.
All right. I'm liking this so far. Keep going.
Caitlyn and Artem are doing a Paso Doble to Disturbia by Rihanna, inspired by Cruella de Vil.
Ooh, that's a weird song choice for Cruella de Vil.
I mean, a lot of them are. Some of them are hilarious. So,
All right, keep going.
all right. Sky and Alan are doing an Argentine Tango to Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish, inspired by Bride of Chucky, which is probably going to freak me out.
That's freaky.
I'm not really a big Billie Eilish lover. I know a lot of people are, but to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Justina and Sasha are doing a tango to this really cool cover of Take Me to Church, inspired by Carrie.
Ooh, wait. What? That's a weird... No, that actually fits.
It's a really cool cover, though.
I'm a huge Stephen King fan, so that, like... That's
After the show, I'm going to go on Twitter and post a link to a playlist I've been working on Spotify. Neve's song isn't on there, and I couldn't find the song from Soul, but everything else is there.
All right. What else do we have?
AJ and Cheryl are doing a tango to the theme from Psycho, inspired by Norman Bates.
Like the nails on a chalkboard one?
Yeah, what they do, actually, fun fact, is for the strings, they use the back part of the bow. They use the wood part, and they just go... and that's how they get that sound.
Terrifying.
I know.
I like this theme. This is my favorite theme. Friends. All right, keep going.
All right. Jeannie and Brandon, this is actually a hilarious combination, are doing a Paso Doble to Man Eater by Nelly Furtado, inspired by Hannibal Lecter.
Wait, this Nelly?
Nelly Furtado. She's the I'm like a bird singer, promiscuous. Yeah, it's not the Hall & Oates Man Eater, but the fact that they used a song called Man Eater for Hannibal Lecter is a little bit hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky.
All right.
Whoa, here she comes.
Not that one.
Oh, not that one?
It's the Nelly Furtado song. It's completely different.
All right.
But it's fun. Nelly and Daniela are doing an Argentine tango to Can't Feel My Face, inspired by Freddy Krueger. What's funny about that? I'm not familiar with Freddy Krueger. I mean, Freddy Krueger,
his face is melted. Like he's all like disfigured.
All right. Neve and Jenna are doing a Paso Doble to a remix of the Swan Lake theme, inspired by Black Swan.
You know, that was like a huge movie when it came out, and then was just never talked about again.
I never saw it. I do remember though. Rumor Willis did Swan Lake, and it slayed. If Dark Sky Destiny Eric is still watching, I know he loved Rumor, so he'll probably have a comment on that.
Rumor has it.
Last two. Chriselle and Gleb are doing a Paso to another really, really creepy version of In the Air Tonight, inspired by Maleficent.
Yeah, I'm not a Maleficent fan.
A lot of people like her. And last one, Johnny and Britt are doing a Viennese waltz to the Kimberly Nicole version of Creep, inspired by Dracula.
Creep?
Yeah. Well, the way that Kimberly Nicole does it, Kimberly was one of my favorites on The Voice in season 8. She's awesome. It's like this piano version, and they put it in triple, so it works for a Viennese waltz.
Like Haley Reinhardt's version?
I never heard her version.
On Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah, I've never listened to it. I was a little upset though, because like Dracula seems like not all that creative for Johnny, but
yeah, that's like public domain, like a villain. Like you could go more. I want some Joker music. I would go with Joker and do like Smile. Smile when your heart is. That was the music in the trailer, but you know.
Would it be like this? Like, could you like maybe like make it a little bit creepier? Like find like.
Oh, they did. Have you never seen the Joker trailer?
No, I haven't.
Oh, they made it like creepy. It's you need to see Joker. That was like a great movie.
I don't like scary movies.
It's not scary. There's like nothing that scary happens.
I've seen one of the Chucky
movies,
and I'm just like, no.
All right.
The Sky might give me the creeps here.
All right. I got one last question before we wrap this show up, Grace. Mm-hmm. We have an elimination coming up next.
Yes.
Who is in trouble? Who is looking like they might be on the way out? And it better not be someone from Team Hot Mess.
I mean, Johnny and Monica have both been in danger before. I think Chriselle could be in trouble. The rest, it might depend on the night, because overall, other than Sky, who was dead last this week and survived, the votes have pretty much matched the judges' scores for the most part. I mean, Chriselle's been skating by, Sky's been getting through, but Sky has a lot of fans.
So who's your prediction? I want a name. Give me a name.
Either Monica or Chriselle.
I think it's Chriselle.
I won't be surprised.
And if not, she goes in the double.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how they're going to do the double elimination because last year we didn't have any, and I don't know how they do them on Strictly. Because, I mean, I have two theories. Option number 2 is they're going to save one out of the bottom 3. Or option number 2, they're going to announce the bottom 2 and send them both home and the judges don't get a say.
Oh, that'd be harsh. No, they would have the judges vote and then say, guess what? You're both going home in like a Tyra Banks like gaff again.
It's not a surprise, though, if we all know it's coming.
Well, any final thoughts, Grace, from the episode, from anything you really want to discuss?
We'll have to figure out a villain costume. Or I don't know. Should we? Or should it just be any Halloween costume?
I'm just gonna go with like devil horns. Like I'll wear devil horns, but I will make no mention of them. Like we will do the podcast, and there will be, and as we're like closing, Grace will say, "By the way, Adam, nice costume," and I'll say, "What costume?" Oh,
better
God.
not be Jeannie. A lot of people think that Jeannie might go in the double if they send them both home. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Grace, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. It's always a pleasure to chat about this with you. Yes. I can say I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox or on my website, adamsoapbox.com, and my other YouTube channel, Adam Samuel. It's just Adam Samuel. I do book reviews, so go give me a subscribe, please, over there. I just posted a new video yesterday, my review of Solutions and Other Problems, one of my favorite books of the year. What about you, Grace? Where can we find you? Reality2_Grace on Twitter. I am also a judge on Dancing with the Stars Showdown. It's a fantasy game. It's at DWTS Showdown on Twitter. We actually just wrapped up our Recreating Music Videos week. We're on Thursdays and Saturdays. I do the Fan Edition All-Star season. And then Saturday we are doing Celebrity's Choice. So that should be fun. Well, Grace, like I said, thank you again to our viewers. We'll be back next week for another episode. Happy Halloween. Well, Halloween's next week. What am I saying?
Yeah. Get your villain on.
Yeah, get your villain on. Go I was going to say embrace your villain side, but that sounds like a very bad idea. Don't do that. Just dress in a cool costume. There you go. Until then, bye. Thanks.
Bye. Night.